If you'd like to hear a review on DC's newest, funnest cinematic experience, just say the word, my friend. I just saw Shazam. Let's get started. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Hello, fellow homies. Welcome to Thumb Together. My name is Andrew Fantasia, and today we're going to be talking about Shazam together. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and give some love to that subscribe button as well. Did you know that Shazam is kind of great? Because guess what? Shazam is kind of great. Up until yesterday, Aquaman was my favorite movie in the DC Extended Universe. Now, that's up for debate. I gotta think on it some more, but I think we may have a new champion. Which is kind of cool, because in the movie he actually becomes a new champion, so it's fitting. I don't know why I'm whispering. One of the things that I think Marvel has done really, really well with was taking characters that were just not in the popular vernacular. You know, people like Iron Man, people like the Guardians of the Galaxy, characters who existed in the comics very prominently but were just not mainstream whatsoever. And Marvel excelled, absolutely excelled at taking these characters, plucking them from obscurity, pushing them front row center, and now all of a sudden there's no kid in the world who doesn't know who Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy are. It's just, thanks to those movies, they are now household names. And DC hasn't quite done that so far, because so far they've been dealing with their big heavy hitters. You got your Supermans, your Wonder Womans, your Batman, your men of the Aqua variety. You've had the Suicide Squad, but that was, you know... That's a whole other story. We're not here to talk about Suicide Squad. As far as my opinion goes, and you might disagree with me, but this is the first time, Shazam is the first movie in the DCEU that takes a character who is not all that well known and puts him in the forefront. And what happens? You come out with a great movie. They're swinging for the fences, and this movie just knocks every single ball out of the park. Shazam is fantastic. And I think there's a neat parallel to be drawn here with somebody like the likes of Iron Man. And it's funny because they both have the exact same color scheme for their costumes, but that's neither here nor there. But the comparison I'm drawing here has to do with the fact that Iron Man and this character, whose name is technically Captain Marvel, but that's a whole other story. But let's just call him Shazam, because that's going to make it easier. Iron Man and Shazam were sort of on the same levels of popularity. Like, people knew about them and they were big deals in the comics, but outside of the comics, you didn't really know. They were just sort of somebody you may have heard about. And now all of a sudden, they're front row center, and they're, as far as I'm concerned, stealing the show. So I think it's really interesting that these two characters who look so much alike in terms of their color scheme just happen to have the exact same transition from comic to screen. I think that that's a really interesting little tidbit of trivia here when it comes to the grand opus of comic book cinema. The thing about Aquaman that got me so pumped after that movie was just the world building involved. I mean, Atlantis and all the Seven Kingdoms, like, there's so much there to play with. I was like, yes, more. From what I've read of the DC comics, I've read like 52 and I've read Final Crisis and all those things, so I know a fair bit about the Shazam sort of world, but not like a huge amount. But I didn't know that it could be made this interesting. And I don't want to spoil what happens at the end of this film, but let's just say here that the expanded Shazam universe, the world building of Shazam's character, really takes off in the third act of this film in a fun-ass way. And now, like, I don't think I've been excited for a superhero sequel this much, excluding, like, Infinity War. Like, that's like, the Shazam sequel is going to be packed with so much fun because of this, expansion of his world, of his characters and his lore, that I'm just, I'm on pins and needles now to see what they do with that, because they had a lot of fun with it this time around. Speaking of the 52 storyline, if you've read the 52 comics, you know that there is a very, very, very evil villainous individual by the name of Mr. Mind. I can neither confirm nor deny that Mr. Mind might pop up in Shazam at some point. And it's pretty glorious if it happens, which it does. There are 2 post-credit scenes, one during and one after the credits, so stay for both of those if you can. One thing that I want to sort of spoil is I want to spoil something that is not in this movie, because I think I should. I think I need to. I think, if people knew that this was not going to happen in the movie, it'd be better, because I was kind of hoping it would happen. Here's the thing. Do you remember about 45 years ago when they announced that Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson was going to be playing Black Adam? Well, he's not in this. Okay? I'm putting that out there. Dwayne Johnson he's actually a producer. He was one of the producers of Shazam. His name was in the credits, but he is not physically in the movie. Black Adam is not seen or mentioned. I think he might be alluded to at one point. There's a point where it looks like they're talking about what could be him. I don't know. I'm not that familiar with the character to know if that's actually him. But you do not see him. There is no evil black version of the Shazam character who walks around being really strong with Spock ears and beating the crap out of people and ripping them in half. That is not a thing that happens in this movie. Black Adam is nowhere to be found. And I was kind of hoping that, with 2 post-credit scenes, he might at least pop up in one of them, especially given the fact that he was cast as the character, before Man of Steel even came out. So, the fact that he was not around is fine. It's not like, oh, I'm disappointed now. But I think it would behoove you to know that going in, so you're not, bummed out when he doesn't inevitably show up. But that's just a little word of warning, that's all. Do not expect Dwayne Johnson as Black Adam to show up at any point in Shazam. But you know what? He's barely missed, because you were going to have so much goddamn fun with Zachary Levi as this character, and with his supporting cast. They are just phenomenally fun from start to finish. The villain of Dr. Savannah, played by Mark Strong, he's okay. He's not the strongest villain. He's kind of a stick in the mud. He's just kind of lame and bland. But that's okay, because the rest of the movie more than makes up for that. So yeah, as it stands, Shazam is kind of right up there with Aquaman for me. These are the 2 best films in the DCEU. And if they keep up this pace, man, then they've got a great thing going. Then we can look forward to some DC goodness to rival the Marvel goodness, and all will be balanced in the universe as Thanos wills it. Did I say that out loud? So anyway, that's Shazam, my friends. That has been Thumb Together. My name is Andrew Fantasia. Thank you so much for tuning in. And don't forget, if you haven't done so already, you can pick up my novel, Side Scroller, on Amazon. It's available in paperback and in ebook. It is a wonderful, delightful little tale of enchantment and woe and all that fun stuff. Pick it up. You shall not be disappointed. And be sure to leave a review on Amazon if you like it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I will see you here next time. And until then, adios.